Hi, I'm John Allard. I'm a candidate on the Prolongevity course. This is week 8 of my video blog. And I just really wanted to see how we're doing in the final stages now on this program. And you'll know if you've looked at the date on this video that we're right in the middle of the lockdown in the UK. So when I actually started doing this program, we didn't think this was likely. It seemed like something happening in China. And I guess the big story is that my whole health risk was extremely high, and so far I haven't contracted COVID-19, but if I had caught it, I would have probably been at quite high risk with what I had at the time, which was hypertension. So we covered all of that really last week. Where I'm at the moment is that I've made another significant gain. I've got various targets I've set myself. I want to get myself to a healthy weight. I want to have healthy visceral fat, and I want to get my fitness levels up. I've got various goals, and if I look at visceral fat, we had a big breakthrough because I've been doing a bit of cycling to improve my fitness now that I feel strong enough to do that, and the visceral fat moved down to 15 in week 8. If you look at the blood pressure, though, I've had a little bit of a battle, and really that was to do with the business pressures, because towards the end of week 7 I took a hammering in terms of stress to do with whether or not we would get any government grant money, and you can just see how business pressures and stress work on you, and you start to fall into slightly bad habits. I am sticking to the program as best as I can, but I do have the odd binge on nuts and raisins and stuff that Graham has told me isn't particularly good for me, which most of the time I can correct. But what happened, of course, we then got government promises. The stress hasn't gone away. We haven't got the bank loans. The banks are being absolute bastards. I think that's the best way to describe them, after all the help we gave them in 2008, 2009. So what I have been able to do is get my blood pressure, as you can see on the screen here, to what is called elevated. I've color-coded things now in line with the normal medical terminology. So hypertensive was where I was in week 1, and right now we're here. I did take a double medication on one day, just to try and get my blood pressure to a safe level, but things have gone back to elevated, which is really good. And what I'm aiming to do is try and get my blood pressure to elevated and eventually to normal by the end of the program. So those are my targets. Weight loss is done very well. I'm losing about ½ kilo a week on average. So my weight now is the lowest it's been probably for 10 years. So at the moment I'll aim to get my weight to out of obese and into just overweight, and if I continue after the program, as I will do, eventually I will get myself into a safe weight, get my visceral fat to as close to safe visceral fat. I'm on 15 now, so I've got 3 notches to go and 2 weeks to do it. So I'm going to see if I can get my visceral fat through lots of exercise, which I'm able to do now with less work pressures because of the lockdown, and also get my blood pressure to the low end of elevated, and ideally get it to normal, and eventually come off the 5 milligrams of blood pressure medication I have to take in the morning, which the doctor said would be impossible. So that's what I'm driving for over the next 2 weeks, and watch the next 2 episodes and see how I do. Bye for now.